say. And I want to assure our people that it is not taking over our jobs.
Okay.
It's not going to take over from humans. But unfortunately, in technology, or let me limit it down to security. Humans happen to be the weakest link when it comes to cyber security, because these systems are programmed in such a way that they are to do a specific task, and that task only. So that system cannot do anything different from what it has been programmed to do.
That's right.
But unfortunately for humans, we're able to think around the things we are doing, and then it gives us, other aspects or perspective to doing other things. So in a situation where we want to do things differently, we tend to make mistakes, and it puts us at risk. But with this systems that have been built with the artificial intelligence as the main focus, it will not do anything different apart from what it has been programmed to do. And the next thing I would also like to talk about will be cloud security and data protection. In our conversation last week, I made mention that data in the technology era is the oil that we mine.
That's right.
Because data is very important. Every organization requires data to make, to take some key information, key decisions on what they want to do. So, in view of this, we have to protect our data. And one of the ways to do this is to try and employ the cloud system, the cloud services. Because we've gone past the era where we have our documents stuck in some archive somewhere, and you need information, you have to go there, bring 2005, 2006 documents out, and then flip through looking for information. We've gone past that.
That's right.
Today, we are thanks to technology, there are systems in place to protect these informations. Yes. And it is very important that for the sake of data loss,
that's right,
we need to employ some of these services.
Okay.
Because they safeguard our sensitive data and ensure that once you subscribe to these services, there are regulatory, rules that everybody, both the client that is requesting for the service and the one rendering the service, are to comply and go by. So it has become very necessary that some of these cloud services are considered as a nation.
I like the fact that you've thrown more light on the artificial intelligence. Others are of the view that the time is coming in the coming future, even acting, these AI will take the place of actors and actresses. Are we going to foresee some of these days?
Okay. In my opinion, I don't think it is so
feasible,
because some of these AI systems have only come to enhance what we do.
Okay.
it will help us to be more efficient. But in instances where we need to automate some services, I mean, humans cannot be there to activate, deactivate as and when. But these systems are put in place that once they see a threat, it triggers, there's something we call in IT we call intrusion detect system.
Okay.
So once, in view of that, this is in view of cybersecurity. So if there's a threat, the system will not wait for the administrator of that system, being the human. So in IT, we call them the personnware, the personware. So yeah, so personnware to come and then, initiate that. It does that before it alerts the administrator that this is happening. So if you can take it from that point on, then you move on. So some of these things will only come to enhance what we do. Because actors and actors, obviously, yes, you use systems, to run your businesses.
That's right.
So it will only come to assist you, make you even more efficient in what you do. So it will not take over anybody's job. But the thing is that we cannot continue to be at the level where we want to, at the level that we are before the AI was introduced. We need to also try to get better in terms of knowledge about what we are doing, so that when these systems are introduced, we don't feel left out or marginalized, but then we feel involved because we are well vested with what we are doing, and we can use the system to even be more efficient and enhance our work.
That's right.
Yes.
So let's look at the security, issues when it comes to the security apparatus or equipment of these endowed countries. Those with weapons, powerful weapons like America. How are they able to put all these things together, make it in the form of a robot? They being robotic about this and target their enemies, or so to speak, to attack them. How is all these things done?
Okay. So, like I said earlier, the AI is a system that uses artificial intelligence.
That's right.
So it will operate like a human being. The robot will operate like a human being.
Wow.
But the only thing is, it cannot think for itself. So this robot is built. It has everything like a human, just that it will not have flesh. Then everything a human being is doing, it can do.
Wow.
Except to think for itself. It cannot think beyond what is being asked to do.
That is your terminology. Then your terminology comes in, garbage out.
Exactly.
What you put in is what
so
you get.
Yes, the giggle. So you cannot build a robot and just give it any code or just give it any code or instructions.
That's right.
To just go and do just anything. These robots are built specifically to do something, and they will undertake that task without failing. And America as a country has invested so much into technology.
In fact, when you actually look at their yearly or annual expenditures, more is spent on their security issues.
Exactly. And technology has come to enhance what we do. We cannot do things like we used to do in the 17th and 18th century. Technology has come to stay. And for this reason, America as a country invests so much in technology and in security, because that is what they believe in. For anyone to be able to penetrate through your system, then it means that the person should have more than what you have, should be doing more.
That's right.
So they invest so much in technology that they won't let anything about security. You know, they won't take anything about security lying down. Yes. For them, it is a priority.
That's right. I like the choice of words. It's a priority.
Yes, it's a priority. Yes. Once they are being they think about their people, you know, the nation, then if there's a need for security. Because for anybody to penetrate, America does a lot. They are dealing with almost every country across the globe. So imagine that your transactions, your dealings with, you know, other people. We all have enemies out there who want to, you know, get some information about us and then leverage on that to do other things. And then you don't take, you know, your security serious. It means you are not serious in the first place.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. Yes.
How does cloning come in when it comes to the AI? Is it cloning or cloning?
Cloning.
Okay, so how is it done? To a lay person, somebody saying Obama has been cloned, and we've been hearing some of these things. It's not him, it's him. He's been cloned. Zelensky of the Ukrainian president, he has been cloned. He's already dead. Blah blah blah, and all that. What can you say about cloning?
Okay, so cloning basically is another is just making available. I would say another type of, you know. So let me make practical. Let me use a computer as a practical example.
That's right.
So I have a laptop with me. I have data on it.
That's right.
On the data is stored in my hard drive. This hard drive is in the computer. I want to create another same drive, but then it is virtual.
Okay.
Or I would say another type of that information or that drive where I get to keep, you know, the same information that I have on my physical drive elsewhere. So there are devices to do that. You clone that drive. It looks virtual.
Okay.
Okay. So
I get
in
it.
a case of where there's a cyber security fraud and individuals are arrested, and you need to get the information on their laptop, that is what you do. You don't take the laptop away from them. What you do is you clone the drive. You get every information on the drive, and then you carry the drive, that your cloned drive, with you. So it means that every information that person has, you have the same. So you can go and investigate and then do your analysis and come out with the results that is required.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, what advice will you give to someone who is interested in pursuing a career in cybersecurity? And are there any particular skills or certifications that are in high demand?
Yes, certainly. So, as you know, a developer or somebody who has an interest in it, first, the advice will be that you focus on computer systems.
Okay.
Networking, programming languages.
Okay.
you need to familiarize yourself with these things.
Okay.
Operating systems, Windows, Linux, those are the mostly used. And I think now the iOS is coming up. People are showing a lot of interest in that. So now you need to know your networking protocols.
That's right.
You need to know the web technologies. These are some of the knowledge you need to acquire. And then you go on then into the cybersecurity. And there are a few certifications that are very, very necessary if you want to become a cybersecurity expert.
That's right.
So you need to first look at the CompTIA Security Plus. You need to get the Certified Ethical Hacker certificate because it is important.
Why ethical hacker?
Great. That's a great question.
That's right.
So the ethical hacking is for protection. I think I made mention of this last Wednesday when
That's right.
we had them. Yes, it's for protection. That is the basic understanding to hacking. When you acquire the knowledge, it is to protect your system. But unfortunately, what happens is that when people tend to have so much information, in the hacking field, then they tend from being the protector to the attacker. So first, it begins with protection.
Okay.
And then it goes the other way around.
Okay.
But usually, it is not to attack people. To make some people have that perception that look, I have to attack you to make something out of it. There are people that do not need anything. There is something in cybersecurity we call the pen testing.
Okay.
So that is the pen testing, penetration testing. So they just test your system to find the vulnerabilities in your system. So some of them, after they are able to do that and they are successful, they reach out to you.
Okay.
And look, your system is not as strong as you think it is.
That's the ethical ones.
Yes. It's not as strong as you think it is. These are the vulnerabilities I found. If you have the resource to employ such a hacker, you do so. Then they protect your system for you. Because once he's been able to penetrate, it means that there are vulnerabilities.
Okay.
So there are bugs to be fixed. So he does all those things for you, or he tells you what you need to do, and then you speak to your the officer in charge of your IT system. Then he writes the bugs or updates write the updates to fix those bugs. Yes.
That's great. So let's look at the VPN. What is a VPN, and can it help avoid cyber attacks?
Yes. Thank you. This VPN is virtual private network.
Virtual private network.
Private network.
Okay.
Yes. So, the last Wednesday we spoke about when COVID came in, people were working remotely.
That's right.
And I made mention of the fact that if anybody is working from outside, if the person is not within the organization and is connecting to your network remotely, it means that your network has expanded significantly.
Okay.
And in that regard, any attacker can attack that person's device. Because in the first place, let me limit this to Ghana as a country.
That's right.
Because of resources, organizations don't like to use, buy devices for their employees. So if the employee is able to get their own devices, they allow them to use them and join these networks. So that is where the BYOD came in, where you bring your own device.
Yeah.
Some of these devices, do not meet the security level that the server is providing.
Okay.
So if your server does not have the system where it has to quarantine a device that does not meet the security, that's its security level,
okay,
then your company is in trouble.
Wow, I see.
Yes, because if a hacker should hack that device that is connecting to your network remotely, it means that the hacker is already in your organization.
Wow.
And it will be so easy to do anything. Anything once the person gets inside.
So the banking sector and other, the health sector, the embassies, they face some of these challenges.
Yes, they do. They do, because if you are accessing the server remotely, you put your organization at a very high risk of getting hacked.
Okay, so we talk about how do you call it? Is it team viewer? Somebody from a far distance trying to control your laptop or your desktop from a distance. Is it also part of this one?
Okay, so with team viewer and then desktop, there are some of these softwares that does that.
Okay.
But to that, you need to consent to it.
Okay.
So usually, I request for the service. You give me your code. I enter the code, and then I join your system, and then I take over from wherever I am.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I am able to operate the device. That is different.
Okay.
But in a situation where you give your logins to your server, to a client, or to your employee to work from home, you should make sure that you have a VPN. That is why it is a virtual private network.
Okay.
So what it does is that every connection data that is being transferred to and fro is encapsulated.
Okay.
So let me come down to the layman's understanding.
That's right.
It is encrypted. It is protected in a way.
Okay.
That
is the encrypted to encrypted kind of thing.
Yes. So it is, the encryption means that it is protected in a way that it will require even a higher software to be able to read the data that is being sent.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
So that's the encryption. So it turns the whole data to gibberish if you view it in English or with any common software.
Yeah.
As soon as you open it, you see the whole thing scattered in some way. You see them messed up. It will make no sense. But if you want to get this information in order to read it, to get a meaning out of it,
that's right,
then this is where you unencrypt or you decrypt. In that case, you should have code that is given to you to do that.
So unencrypt and decrypt, what's the difference?
So it's the same.
Okay.
So you unencrypt it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's look at in recent years, we have seen several high-profile cyber attacks and data breaches. What are some important lessons that individuals and organizations can learn from these incidents?
Yes. Cyber security should not be taken for granted. It is very, very important. We need to prioritize proactive security measures. Because when your system is vulnerable, trust me, you will be exploited. Because your weakness will be taken advantage of.
Okay.
And you cannot leave your system weak. Yes. You cannot leave your system weak. Some of these things happen because, authentication and access control
Yeah.
is key when it comes to cybersecurity. Because if you are joining the system, if you are logging into the system, there is a need for you to authenticate yourself. So this is where the multi-factor authentication comes in. So when you log in, you are sent the OTP. So the system that you are logging into sends you the OTP.
Okay. Yeah.
And because the system has your credentials, it will only recognize the telephone number that you gave as an employee. If you choose the email, fine. It will send you through your email or your phone number. So it is easy for you to, input this code, and then you are able to log in successfully. And one of the mistakes a lot of system administrators are doing that they need to take a critical look at is the fact that they give priority, or I would say privileges, to people that do not require them. It is dangerous.
That's right.
If you are an employee and you work with let's say, the accounts department. Accounts department, you deal with all the transactions that are happening with your organization. There's no need for that employee to have the privilege of maybe the HR.
That's right.
It is not necessary. The person doesn't need it. Once you give such privileges to them, because they have no idea what it is, they will abuse it.
That's
and
right.
It will put your company or your organization in a jeopardy. Because if somebody is able to break in or get this person's login and accesses the person's credentials and his privileges, it means that he will have information from the accounts and the HR, which is dangerous. So let's give the right privileges to the people as they require. Nothing more, nothing less.
So how do you keep your computer secure?
Well, the first thing to do is to make sure that you have your system, your computer is always updated. Do not take that for granted. Don't take it lightly. Yes, it is very important that your system is always up to date, because the developer or the device you're using has a developer's website where updates are from time to time are written for devices, because
right.
they take feedbacks from people that are using their devices. So what are the challenges regarding this program on your computer? Okay, these are the challenges. So when 2, 3, 4, 5 people are able to mention the same thing, then you should know that it is a challenge for almost everyone who is using that device. So constant update is very, very important. From time to time, you can even set your system to update automatically. Once the update is ready, it should prompt you.
That's right.
And then you update it.
Okay.
The second thing is try and get a strong antivirus.
I was about touching on virus.
Yes, antivirus. It's very important because in it's such that from time to time people try to write malicious softwares, write malicious codes that will make they can do something with. Sometimes it is not to even harm anybody.
So for the purposes of education, can we touch briefly on what virus really mean to a lay person who is listening or watching?
Okay. So viruses. So let me not limit it. Virus is a type of malware.
Okay.
It's a type of malicious software.
Okay.
Yes. So malicious softwares are softwares that are written intentionally or deliberately to cause harm to systems. So let's be careful with some of these things. The softwares we download online, the free ones, we need to cut them.
Free.
Free things are not for free.
That's right. Even in Freetown.
No way. So let's be very careful about the softwares we download. We are online, we chance on it. Oh, okay, this one. You might download the software and the title you see is not actually what you downloaded. It is something different.
Yeah.
So let's be careful the kind of softwares we are downloading online, just because it is for free. Because they will end up denying you the access to your system.
You were still touching on how I can keep my computer secure.
Yes. So, like I said, update. And then you make sure that you have antivirus. That not the free antivirus that we download online. Some of these most of them are cracked ones. And they will not even serve the purpose. They also come with their own issues. Though they might be antiviruses, they are actually virus. They are virus attached to them. So you install them on your computer with the notion that you have an antivirus on your system. Please, it is not advisable to download a free antivirus. If you are an organization and you need a software an antivirus, purchase it from the right source.
Okay.
In that way, the developer knows that he is rendering some service to you, and from time to time, he or she must write updates for you.
Okay.
So that you constantly update it to make your system even more robust against some of these malwares.
Okay. So let's finally touch on this one. What are some of the threats a company can face? The
threat a company can face.
Yes.
Yes. The threats, there are a lot. They are a lot. But I believe the best that we can do to curtail some of these things is, like I said, get the updates going. If your system is not up to date, then it means that you are in trouble.
Okay.
Perhaps the attack has not happened yet. It's on its way. Yes. So some companies will suffer denial, DOS, which is a malicious software. I mentioned it. It will deny you of your services. You have your let's say in your organization, there's an attack, and now the malicious software is in your organization. It's in your server. Trust me, it becomes a serious issue because it will deny you of the things you have to use your system for.
Okay.
So in cybersecurity, we call it the DOS, denial of service. You will see that when you request, so the system works in such a way that everything, all the emails or the information you send are requests that you make. Okay, they are requests that you make.
That's right.
So when you make those requests, there's a need for a response from the server that you are querying. So that is how we call it. You query the server, and it gives you a response. So in a same way, you have sent your request, and then you start to see that you have this what's the name? This pop-ups coming. They keep coming, and you are not able to control. As you close the boxes, they keep coming.
Okay.
That is how the DOS works.
Okay.
So it will flood your network. So, and the network works with bandwidth. So the bandwidth is the throughput, like that a network can take at a time. So when you send your request as a client, the server looks at your request, and it gives you the response in that regard. So what the DOS does is that it comes to flood your network. So it chokes your network to the extent that the bandwidth becomes very small. To the extent that you cannot even make any request. In recent time, that was what one of the shipping lines in Tema faced. So you will flood your network with all sort of requests, which is not coming from you, the legitimate client, because there's an attack. That is just trying in a way to deny you of the services that you are requesting. So it overloads your system.
That's right.
And the traffic becomes overwhelming. So legitimate users cannot query the server and then get their response in that regard.
Wow.
And that is one of the serious attacks that is happening. It is really happening. It is really happening.
Wow.
Yes.
We've learned a lot. We'll continue next week. Next week we'll call you on Monday, and then we'll do a Friday edition as well. Is there anything else you would like to share, or any final thoughts on the topic, cyber security?
Yes. My final words would be that in as much as we are protecting our systems from cybercrime, it's about security. And the physical human being is important. Let's not do away with that.
That's right.
Because there are attacks that people walk into the organization to come and plant in there in our server rooms.
That's right.
So it is important that we try and get, as an organization, have physical security personnel. Because one of the attacks that happened way back in the, I think in the 18s. There was this guy who just walked into a company. When he walked in, he was just like a normal guy. He went straight to the server room and then plugged in a device. When he did that, he came out and he had, a pen drive in his hands. As smart as he was, he got to the gate and there was this security man there. And when you go through the security, the cancel, it will beep when you have any metallic thing on you. So he threw the pen drive to the security man and said, "Oh, will you check me?" And the security man held the pen drive and looked at it, but he didn't know it was a pen drive because it was coated with something plastic. So the guy crossed the thing and he threw the thing back to the guy. That, "Oh no, there's no need." That is how the attack began.
Okay.
This guy has planted the thing and now he's in his house and he's accessing the
controlling
system
everything
remotely. So he chooses to do to the system what he wished to do at every point in time. So in as much as we are talking about security, we are protecting our systems with from cyber crimes. Let's not forget about physical security. It is very important.
Thank you, sir. We are grateful.
You're welcome, sir.
Hopefully we'll speak with you on Monday. We are so grateful. You, that was Mr. Reynald Anya. He's a security expert and consultant. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome.
Stick and stay right here. Mpɔtam Morning Show with Papa Law Perfect. We're streaming live on www.mountainghana.com, online radiobox.com. I want you to know that the show continues from here. I'm going for a short break, and when I'm back, we'll do more stories.
Can you bring the wafa? Empower yes na winya. Yami shira, amani paya zefoa. Enyanum. Efanya misroye jumana nyami besrayen. Obraya boya. Emoya muraye. Ebe ya efi yanara. Amabe ya efi yanara. Ejano la popo. Asite be ya efi yanara. Amabe ya efi yanara. Adije.
All right, Mpɔtam Morning Show with me, Papa Law Perfect. We stream it live on www.modernghana.com, onlineradiobox.com. 2 minutes on top of the hour, 8 a.m. David Santos,
Attorney General.
David Santos.
Wabo nipedi nyame shrawo. Eno ana miti se obi se wabo bema din debi bema de obi atimi ye bema. But we de wabo nipedi.
And then mo bi ye bema na then mo bi nso nye bema.
Wa bisa question na edi enema bebre beba anopa.
Edi sembeba no pa.
Yeah.
Na is a way Santos di asembeba.
Yeah.
Ana Papa Lord di asembeba.
O say question na obi say ne de se me si me come deeper. Wan hwe ya media house ne be nya asem. Enye media me ye parasini.
Ene na Mpɔtam Morning Show. Here we inform, we educate, and we entertain. My co-host David Santos is in high spirit. A lot is going to happen. Show produced by Jude GH. The best is yet to come. Hit the share button, share the message on your page, on your timeline, send the link to your friends. It's time for newspaper review. What's happening in the dailies? Before the dailies, what do you have for our listeners and viewers across the globe? Today a lot of people are watching the show. In fact, a lot, and people you don't suspect or expect to watch are watching us. They are watching us live. So what do you want to say?
Before we come to the newspaper review,
that's right.
Let me take you to Ho. A lot is happening at Ho. Yeah.
When you hear the driver's mate, so is it Ho?
And I say Ho, yeah. So say Ho no.
That's right.
Two letter and Ho no. And the Ho no, I say they are not comfortable.
I home.
Yes, and the Ho. Yes, Anthony.
And mamentia Ho for.
Okay,
and ye co-voter region, ye too far co-voter region.
Okay.
Ho ye chairman. Ho municipality ye chairman. Now NDC for some beji city now. Honorable, your friend is simple. Amewu. And he city no. Boy city no. Almost on magic. Almost on magic.
Ombeji is saying.
What for who has a buy in the market? Almost more jina. So no pen or be breaky record. What to me a G seat. Any voter region.
Any omuyiro mumpa.
What say?
Omuyiro mum. And yes, Meji ni die o kai sa anyum no.
Na amewu so kwan on fa so GC ni die.
Yeah.
Na Central Fee for den so Montias South for no.
Okay.
O se yomu esi nchen. Na ya momanto. Ebusu wo I mean.
Oh, they are still having
omuguso ye omonto aba. Nti wo madwim wo nim sese Central Fee for den so to aba ni bia. Enka amewe bi anka wawini. So we say ye chichemu. Ye check constituency.
Any dear.
David Santos.
Attorney.
What's happening? What's up?
Okay, I said before we come to the newspaper review, I'm taking you to Ho. Ho Municipal Assembly members locked up office of the Municipal Finance Officer. Mr. Mark George Afetogbo ono no ye municipal finance officer Tuno yes
what corner director issue we letter and memo say fasika mani pesumesi obekwa baseya mekwa haba
no ba
typical Ghanaian worker officer especially in the public sector. A bufu rough. Na what passport office near a more time se bra. Now bekono omponu wo omudu ho so a omo ko no mo ba na biti ho ne ye
as omo se nipa ti ho
as a bank bi a me shop tete no near friend commercial bank
okay
he said omo se GCB sa ye se omaton
mama
GCB eso omaton yes is a company bi dia
Hey,
now to say is almost born a Ghana commercial.
Debbie,
almost GC.
Yeah.
Aye. Near one. First, so quiet, yamma, minimum year papa, me buy a chef for MBA.
Yeah.
Not yet, ye cost near Didinia, Connie, Bunny, just wow. Tia Cunyaso trains or be from Frau.
Oh,
one approaching who approaching is on any wolf. Hey, to our sense. Ateni me a share picture na. E di so mo lock. Omo done any cells. Omo done one na omo dey share cells by force.
Okay. Ateni die ba ni nyina ni se sa Mark George Afetogbonu a oye municipal finance officer we. Sika bia so o release Emma whole municipal assemblies no. Onu ya send letter any memo oma send ni sa enye se u send manual na obiem a before mu be free one mu na wa throw wa folding.
As a minimum story, I have no chance. Me can't number. I have no chance on it.
That is the same story.
That bureaucratic mentality was so mujai. Yeah, so bureaucratic.
Thank you.
Adi muda wa be bought to computer papa na dia money pan. Ghana ni be delay sa chese. And no now bones or your boss.
Or your boss.
Bossing around.
Hey,
bossing around.
Now
we come here crank or some the hank of good inside.
Oh, as a story no, as a unim story no, and a prophecy.
Me see me who ye. But I can envisage what really transpired.
The people were very angry.
The attitude of a typical public officer.
Oh,
I'm telling you.
Anthony. Persons can obey them.
It's Canada.
And now take it stand.
Sebi. Can ni ananesedia.
Fan is belong to the assemblies. And he's supposed to release as a obey sign it.
That money is not yours. Release it
to be used for official duties of the members of the assemblies.
Look at that.
And no,
so you are stifling progress and growth.
Yes,
you are sabotaging it. A whole official, very sensitive position.
Oh, attention.
Just sabotage it. That is why government institutions, for that matter, public sector workers are struggling always.
Yes, exactly. You are right.
The bureaucracy is too much.
Oh,
the delays, the pussyfooting. As obeye, as onye. What is this?
What is this, dear? What is this? So because of that, early in the morning before you get to the office, they lock the office and they put danger. If you like, you touch it and see. And then one of his official car is there. They clamp it with, they clamp it. They say nothing of his will move today if you don't release the fund to us. And so that is what is happening right now here.
I think that is the language a typical officer of his caliber understands.
Okay.
And when you come with brutal force, you will be faced with the same reprisal attack.
That is it.
It's too much.
So, Attorney, that is what is going on at Ho right now as I'm talking to you right now. And then the issue has gotten to the high office.
I just want to be economical with words. This man like this needs maybe a military slap so that his brains will reset.
Yes.
What is that?
Format the wicked.
Formatting everything out and then you bring in a new one.
Yes. And Attorney.
Yes, sir.
I have one story. Then we go to the newspaper review. Honorable Communication and Digitalization Minister.
Digitalization Minister.
Yes, Wabim. So say
Digitalization Minister. Me fe say ba omi ana.
Debi.
Na why?
Ba omi andie onu the mind of digital.
The brain of digitalization.
Yes. And it's
minister.
Almost our minister. They said they are
NMPP so the omo buy pa.
Nanka a communication minister.
It's up to date. Omo take nipa dodo a minister sene so.
Deb. Omo nya crowds and almost had me appoint.
Omo di bibe kan ho.
Omo di bibe kan ho. Omo pentensi.
Ani omo nkona yewu. Up to date.
Yes.
So. Now, Mr. White Kragusu wom na bed.
Uzi
Mr. White.
Oninu wan.
Onim no.
Be minim no.
Ni o control Ghana sika.
Me.
Dabu o di kogu bre mu nso ni. O hwie gum say ya, not be kogu tano. Yinim.
Just say
I'm not a was a phone aquabi say Captain Smart and more Juma Crow. And Central for was here in your farm with near the year.
Yeah, for that we need it.
Easy. A team player back on so age now any or Bobo Kwane Park, one officer or a bodybuilder. Or so on Penny more in your program.
Hey!
So Captain Smart is so pen once.
Oh, onu dear from Kumasi, baby,
baby, controversy.
Hey, Edino, Attorney.
Yes, sir.
Some say Nansanya na communication minister. Eddie Betu just say one register with SIM no. Ye locking with padlock.
That's right.
And it's a one called register.
Artificial padlock.
Yes.
Wow, frequent call. It's a speaker of parliament. Bagway. Akano. Deactivated.
And do you know
that some judges say,
yes,
even the speaker of parliament, right honorable Bagway.
Yes.
Deactivated. Deactivated.
Yes.
Aye.
And the reason why they are giving us another time to go and do the registration is because the speaker of parliament. Alan Bagby.
That's right.
Ya locking the sika any baby and you say almost anytime now one year
assemble
obeko bankrupt.
Also obehaji. Okasaboko.
Yes, and you mobile money due yes unlocking up no.
Yeah. After another opportunity. So
yes, and your mama 1 month.
Yeah, but do baby I meant Ghana for us honestly.
Okay.
Because Uzi who did and a fiasa betosho.
Yeah, sure.
I mean time I assorting stop academy. Or might be a year for me and 30 minutes on top of the hour, 8 a.m. GMT in the studios of Papalo Radio. We streaming live on www.martingana.com, online radiobox.com. Let's go straight into the dailies.
Okay.
On top of the story, the informer. Voter cries for good rose. 25 million whole airport turns white elephant. Togbe Afede vindicated. Edube bia near Rashi and May airport wa near the Aje point. If you near Jato hot to say Kumawi.
Yeah.
They say Jumana I stopped. Omo they are too hold. They say you drew a send not.
Yes.
Ya kwan ye way. MPP for more share so na monye ne sa akopim ze mu bewie why
shortcut in
almost almost pedia moye no na emo munye na munye ni yi
complete it.
Yeah. Special coming up. Defunct Mahama tax force member living in a glass house and throwing stones. Stay tuned. Hey. I said not by election. NDC broke appeals for fans. Now NDC they say Omampanyi Mahama need before the
yes.
They are the Cash Money Brothers.
Yeah.
You're from CMB. Cash Money Brothers.
Okay. CMB. Wow.
Mahama Oscar. Before so say Miss me will be. Mahama will be. Miss me will be.
And apart from these two, no, one biome.
I say do get answer.
And your men no action.
General chair.
Yeah.
General chairman.
If you think
chairman general.
Or catch up is there.
So you'll be biting.
You'll be bite too. That's why
biting more yare by force. Former chairman. Honorable Ofusuapo for Mechiao.
Yeah.
It's a fine gentleman. It's a Tema product.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we greet you.
So a background Fantiaqua. No, a DC or be MP or Wazana. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I'm hospital. I want to be in service.
Oh, okay. And you saw him personal.
Oh, yeah. And your friend photo. No chat photo.
Hey.
Shaba Juman, why you be paying? Wabril or a breath for.
Wow.
A teacher, so called training college. Or be a teacher.
Wow.
No, a discipline. So
discipline. Wow. That's great.
EC rebuffs NDC claim.
Okay, let's go to the anchor. On the front page of the anchor, Ghanaian chief in America, Hoot's wife kills himself after partner allegedly threatens
shoot
yeah
boni to ekunu
pew
wa boni yire but oba ne de yesi nyamiado no office oba na wu but oba na enwu yesi even though she is battling for her life no
but anyway nyansan bi anim said divorce ba
o fa wachi na mema na yetumufu amonte ma na nso yetumufu amonte
monte ene je
ade na mfa jano ma doso mema na yesi yesu amo
yes
ba ma na de omo doso abrante na we ni kra nya hene papa bia me de jano
onya hene papa bia
nya hene papa
ba se sa no mo ma chewa
community amakotra motu odi hene adi wo Ghana hinie no binu no ahun ahana na densa ase no benya bi atwa
bi
na no de nya de omuni mu ano
America de ko twa hwan asase o de twa hwe
me say we no munya wo mo ne de amama White House o ko be twa fa Biden da hwa no mabu ne bedu Enya da galam say yanu mutu
omutu sa
omso munyai ye the galam stop by operation calm leg
me stop
operation calm life any hwan
ebe basa yen konkon o
yes oboko ya na boys na ko she ho every be small boy the camera see ni so o ma penye AKUFO-ADDO say the whole stop galam say
okay
hwe o se hwa de ye sensuo ya se twetwa duare o se hwe dua no video the bia me pese me hwehwe sa video no
ya
producer hwehwe
ya ba hwehwe pa
owie no say wa hu sa se so yes no
yes
akwa bia de
mama ya be same
no akwa bia de no tuto
yes enti
akola hu same
same Oga say oye obi nsu
na chenye yen be kom na be kam oh boy me sure wonya 18 po the cameras yes
onya 18
was galam say na they rough
owo e friend
ti wo hini die wanya ade
wanya ade
but oja oye will e wo fo so obi aye nsamanse anansamanse ye kan nsamanse will wu na wa hihye se nyame fa sama but ko so o dia ma double
o dia fa wenye omun time usa they ask their family whether they are allowed to be killed.
All right, so we all just say obi kwa odi na chija yi na we dia papa yi asem we no ono de wa ntranto krata so akofa the lawyer amao ono am phone so
waye wo
voice note eno twa o se abra aka chewe won fa we car ne dem de ama we fie ni so monfa we tu be de ama mo me enter sa o ti se be kwa na me ko maza
David
fun pa
Ateni
we film yanto aso
and the cause was the anchor front page na and I have a picture of Charles Bissue
Charles Bissue
in first trouble as special prosecutor secures cause for his arrest.
And also I'm a lawyer through his lawyers have written to the court so almost stop and also called injuncted the move of the special prosecutor. What was the politicians here?
How can
Papa we kujina mribi say yanto le so abana nko meye MPP regional chairman. I think it's a national.
It's rather national. Yeah.
And they pull back. Wan go do na ni be hu ke na so na nansi ho. Latter part no say we withdraw no dey support ko tai we fufrechi. Abuzigi.
But you see, Ateni, I don't know the reason why our politicians are abusing the law. How can you write to the special prosecutor office say yen stop investigation? Who you want?
I say proceed for the year. See a chin on camera.
Yes.
Or money boys no e frel near charging near more fake certificate. Or when they release a small mine no. Or no na they release a certificate. If we are ready, no catch up someone go and mind the place. No man police protection. Police for no so mo boy ho ban no ene ya soldier for no ne ama command
na o mo say o
go sika wo mo jefi o man for illegal miners wo no blow your mind. Ne yesi asresem yesi o mo ba abrofo no Chinese for the ba no makofa o mo wo ye kan say community ho ne obi onim nananom ne yi no de wakọ nana ho no amana na be 25,000 no de ne snap account obi ose nananom ye Chinese for no or no de asem no Chinese near na nim se de ensuo to a ensuo na twa a ento bi o mania mia komu sei na ono instruct Ghana ni abro woni tirim nti o de Chinese abase on say yen sa sin say yensuo en say yen forest
because of 25
but omo de ko China na ko me see da bia meka semwe ko China na ko twa omuni a
na u be ye den u ko yi sika ni we kra ekotwa
unim long and short owiya no aka through ni spokesperson Ghana ni a China ni afa say spokesperson owiya
nyansa
no de adwenkese aka chose nananom ye de omo be chia okeke na omo sese mu ye program na mu di dwumadie ye developmental project a mo mfre wom na omo meboa wa enya ode anana no matrangonya ya nananom yi no omo nya ye tikuro omo betwa ton mesi omo nya ye ti omo betwa ton nansi AKUFO-ADDO new government Mpɔtam woni ye kan sen akuapemfo onim se ye frɛ bia kwantu kɛse asantefo na ne ye wo Kumase odwabe na ne ye bepie new dwabe na wona na sase ne omo de aya chimfo ne akuapemfo omo na ne bo boundaries ma wa bakose history na omo na enti akuapemfo no na gitu mu na achimfo no so gitu mu na omo ma asantefo efidwabe ne ba bi tinae ene ni onya ba bi tinae ne se wakohwehwe yedidi si ade so nche yo na na kwakubu atin the third near the first wo ho na third aba na third emeritus professor emeritus o te kai friend Otibuate ona net so owu ye na we na ba we are very young and vibrant o ko ye o say abakose mu no ensasi bi eda AKUFO-ADDO e frɛ ba bi a adweso Kumase kana adweso ahare ye kana adweso na oyi ono ni tumini efi AKUFO-ADDO ebefa ho nyina meanwhile ohene mpo wo hoda da kuapemfo ohene ene wo ho on said the anibra de no bisasa de ntia sa na omu tuetua so omu tuetua se property rate ne land or wine at the mom nti wo pagia kan ne de ho anibre ya info no
wa ye ma baby tran
be de na ba ko mo ne hutu yanko
okay Duka pushes for Mineral Revenue Management Act and so these are the stories on the front page of the Anchor.
Let me take them meridian.
Okay.
Nanado opens National Aquaculture Center and Commercial Farms Facility. In fact, facility never and no I make sure with TV so never how I come saying.
Yeah.
What is fish pond?
Yeah.
Or see anything that has fish. Hey.
Anything that has. Yes, I was in fish pond.
Hey.
Yeah.
Any pond that contains fish.
Yeah.
Now, oh, you're inverting. Oh yeah. So I'm so anxious.
Debbie.
I want you to be say honorable minister designate. Me pacho fish pond day. Honorable na to pass we. How I could say obi a why head mistress pay you. Afi brofu yi.
Emma
or to see her what to see her.
Yeah, say adwinboni de.
O say
adwinboni.
Yeah, or twituzo. Why ya no abeti?
Yeah, what you? Yeah, me kind pa. And I said no me can say adwinboni nti.
Obi o de be pa so. Masa
honorable
etu do tribute.
Yeah.
But why ya there? Waboa ma omanya akwa
but now come in me say ombe disqualifying because say one team am a tangible definition.
Na Ghana the qualification ya there. Who has the money? On ya near CM pass then now a trade minister KTM.
Yeah,
and now Greek minister. We have the men let the NDC fool and they will see.
Yeah,
we'll show them where power
lies. Yeah,
have Brian Champion and then obey a Greek minister. Then a Greek minister designate and then ya pass it.
Ya pass it cry.
abozigi ene ye man ne NDC for to oma ba prime so say mo MPC ye be yi bia trafie ene oma trafie mutaka say otrom mapase yemfa the daily analyst Bok telcos to retrieve locked Momo cash. Bank of Ghana so the money brisika and fosika. Bok telcos to retrieve locked Momo cash. Osler assures affected subscribers in parliament. But mame no cash as a what trend you go so trendy. Osimo fani Momo sika mano. Osler osimo fani sika mano ton
namuji mu cheap.
Ose monfa ni sika ose MTN monfa ni sika man ototo short no short five or the mobile ose MTN monfa ni sika man mo de mani bia munyi chip no na monfa ma osla wusu no nwe Mahama promises to revive movie industry Mahama
Onapo
Mahama
Unapo
Boshe die yi ose Mahama promises to revive.
Odi fa baby
now him say asem we na akofa samaba onim say the MPP also promise say ombesi theater in every regional capital but almost here na
short cutting
o say
short cutting
na almost here
there be animation
AKUFO-ADDO nsi
there be
animation na fe pa o
you see
na fe pa
me see animation there or the man
and all man penny so be reviving
say why animation that enter aka nipa ba be see I see
Allah launches Ketwa biara nsa to raise funds Allah no fine gentleman
sika wo ba ye pe more
cash for the people so no also pay cash ye pesika sika yete money stop nonsense to aswe.
Okay, let me take the Metro Lens. On the front page, Alankas on one am ye kan en wasem say no or see or the code adi atudwa to support kitwa biara na enso and the platform no or see star 713 star 242 hash na say 20 pesos 10 pesos that would push it.
So little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. Powerful. Allah is a fine gentleman.
For that one. Me, I personally, I can tell you that yes, I like the man. I like the man. Special prosecutor get court order to arrest Charles Bissue.
In fact, a special prosecutor Obojima.
Yamwan. Eba, upa na oganza anyway.
Oh, you know.
Last time we can review.
Me say ebia or yes selective. Case ni bi wo hwa me fi say wo so DH.
Or DH. Yeah.
And we dey DH na ye. O say we government in power and crofo no pick on tie. Na ye balance. And we say wo touch opposition.
No bia wo say adwuma no dey.
Because at the end of the day aban yi na yi no so nim sa.
N1. Okay, original TV FM Storm Energy Drink tema with street soccer and the government support
tema dia Papalo radio
dia enti omo ase omo ya overlapping
omo dey so agrobi no omo ye nkola omo teta omo ye mfiafia ye die ni
ti yeti so
utu yenye yi uti so eto twede
enti storm am so maye no yesre mu ya obi adi ni lem overlapping
ma who story bi wo ho
edi hin
na mo anaba
waba
na unim no
na mo an enya kwa ya
akwa be
ozi
akwaro
enya kwa no
akwa be
men's good
one ne down no
first na men's bank oba na almost ni document enso na oyepam no to okoya won say ye was short memory and to akoya ni men's good
short memory dem say o manpanyi dada his excellency o shenkomo and I know we really Ghana for smart or see Ghanaians have short one can say some Ghanaians
there be yanyina
General statement.
Yes.
And he was emphatic.
Yeah.
Ghanaians have short
memories. Yeah.
Wow.
Eti na one there wasaba. Omo amunim no. Oh, I don't know, say you know Men's Bank. Na Men's Bank.
No, done it. No.
Or done it. The same issue.
Or metamorphose.
Thank you.
So Men's Bank metamorphose to Men's Good. Wow.
Yeah.
Na uye biana.
There be na me na me sika yemfa to bango. Because
investor. Oh, investor or did sika to bank.
There.
Political laundry on the front page. Professor Jampu tells OSP to tone down and stop playing to the gallery. Sir Jampu ikre. Just say. No, a professor or child. One thing, Papa, we ask sex for grace.
Yes. So count.
Oh yeah, you have to tell them. Ghana, when he come.
Oh,
I'm for better why girls. He said no, Papa, the other year. On an ammo free. And when Yaku do sun and nam station. Hey, no, nya brilliant noted here.
Meaning po. When you na ye maintain
professor.
When you say you investigating.
Ghana for the professor.
Oh,
professor.
A young with the rough.
Omono Casanso, a professor in show.
Debbie.
Mankashi.
Who say?
Mankashi. Number one.
Yes.
Makes 35 court appearances without trial. Almost a case, you know.
Who say?
Almost said.
Case with the mean person besen.
Number one.
Akwanwa kunipa bebre.
Nipa wo kum dia dos.
Omo amuso mo yare amu hospital amutimi na tia.
Esi bebre nya blood pressure.
Enya grow.
Na mo wo ye wudi nipa. Small boy. Dimpanyifo ho agro.
Yeah.
Session. Yes, you to be ko shia wa say monko body o chisa mombra.
Yeah. So only say on my way mu. Who need short memory? Ni na wo dey high kakra. Obet me didi.
Yes, see. Abranti e ha na yes wo mo so wo de no wakopie Dubai to wo de na ba. No mo sande de ko so oti ya. Yeah, omiti ya me wo my way pa. What follow pa.
Yeah, hey.
And I also seek and good you.
Debbie, me nua na ni sika ko kem. Na me persika dia
ya discussion na me hwe se de wura ne kasem na madam fu bi. Me se share me pa madam fu yi.
Na
sika ko sa no.
Owa.
Yeah, carry as obo.
Oh, slow poison. Oh,
so slow beka. Because you 24/7 more fan.
Men banko.
Wonim. Abranti yete ya sawote ya almost ni sika bi wo Dubai.
Dubai and ni omko
Ghana so ye di agro pa o.
Ye go retrieve.
Opa ko betuo bia.
Yes.
Okay.
Dubai ni dia. Dubai.
Akwa yesi ye wi.
Ni papa na ye president wo ho.
Yesi we win case. It was discovered
eba.
Akwa betu ya. Afre Ghana for mo a omusika soso no. Okay, say list the crab by.
Eba bebre.
List by.
Yeah.
We ya na
table by.
Aye. Obi ya be ji ni sika.
Yeah.
Up to date.
Oboa.
Crocro the job. MPP Charles Owusu has no locals in Ase North. Mustafa Gbandi wo de tra ho. Toto ano na toto ho sa. What the candidate in Aba? Yebreko. Yemfa Crusading Guide, the new Crusading Guide for nona.
Okay.
Yemfa Daily Graphic and yemfa mrawi. Yemfa Dr. Antoine Humanesona. Or ne yadishian and there was here to us.
Yeah, and the
hepatitis A.
Yeah, sure.
A up to E.
E.
A dose of
at the end on
categorize it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the A. I'm interested in this story. For the new Crusading Guide now for me for Daily Graphic now.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry so.
Okay, so on the front page of the new Crusading Guide it says investing in partnership for power. Alan unveiled platform for cash donation. And then we also have a National Petroleum Authority takes measures to avoid fuel shortage. And then we also have Professor Frimpong Boateng appeals to Petty. And then I am still chief of Ama Asaman Kesi and Ewo Honemo. And the energy minister that energy security remains government topmost priority. And so these are the front page of the new Crusading Guide.
Supreme Court, the Daily Guide, Okunini, the Daily Graphic.
The Daily Graphic.
The Daily Graphic.
Yeah.
Okunini. Ghana,
top notch.
You can newspapers and one graphic.
Graphic, yeah.
Okay, Obi say newspaper ben or say graphic.
Graphic, yeah.
I say Pepsodent.
Yeah.
Pasty beer, toothpaste beer.
Pepsodent, yeah. Who dare charcoal cry Pepsodent.
Pepsodent. I say Supreme Court refers judge, registrar to Chief Justice for investigations. As one say hub of Rickshaw Business, NDC's youth met. All right, MIDA to encourage Ghana Cares Obatampa project. All right, sharp division in Parliament because of the expungement of Jachi Kwesi's name. There's been a lot of division. You see, as over here, there's a twist.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaker of Parliament, there was any dini come. And yes, I do Supreme Court man a proper and better interpretation of the judgment. President commends graphic for essay competition on SDGs. All right, so that'll be all for the newspaper reading. So I'll go for a quick break and I'll be right back. Mpɔtam Morning Show with Papa Lo Perfect. All right, on my be here for me 38 minutes on top of the hour, 8 a.m. GMT in the studios of Papalo Radio. We're streaming live on www.mortingghana.com, online radiobox.com. I want us to remain interactive. So send your comments, your views, your thoughts about all the topics that have been discussed so far, from cyber security, the major headlines, and the likes. I have on the line to speak to this pertinent and all-important subject on hepatitis A. We have different types of hepatitis. The doctor is going to classify them for us, and we are going to touch on hepatitis A. Doc, good morning.
Good morning, boss.
How you doing?
I'm good. And you?
The Lord is faithful. We are bouncing around. And how's the family and your patients?
Everyone is fine.
We thank God. Doc, let's look at the health sector. Your general overview about health care in Ghana.
Health care in Ghana.
That's right.
Okay. As in, my general overview.
That's right. Generally, from your end, with your expertise and across the country.
They are working. What they have to do is they have to try as much as possible and post some of the health professionals. You get it? They have to try as much as possible and post some of the health professionals, because as now we have qualified nurses and qualified physician assistants at home, and they are not posting them, and it's creating a lot of problems because the workload is too much, and they have to employ people to also help augment us so that we can all see lights. So that's what I would say.
That's fine. I know you are being economical about this one, and I like the fact that you put your message across. Doc, we are touching on hepatitis A. For the benefit of those who are joining in for the first time, I would like you to revise the subject for us again, specifically on hepatitis, the meaning of hepatitis, and then the two kinds, that is the chronic and then the acute one.
Hello.
Doc,
Hello.
I'm
Yeah.
saying for the benefit of those who are joining in for the first time,
Yes.
will you take time to educate us on what is hepatitis and the type we have? I know we touch on acute and then the chronic one.
Okay. When you talk about hepatitis is inflammation of the liver, and it may present as an acute illness with jaundice and altered liver function.
That's right.
When we talk about acute hepatitis, this medical condition having inflammation of the liver within a period of less than 6 months, we classify you as an acute hepatitis. And chronic hepatitis is having this inflammation of the liver for more than 6 months. That is it. So some of the causes of hepatitis, we have the viral causes, the viral causes, that the viruses causing them. We have the hepatitis A virus, hepatitis B, C, D, and E, and yellow fever causing hepatitis. And we have drug-induced hepatitis. This is the type of hepatitis which is caused by drugs such as the allopathic drugs, herbal preparation. Get it? So in the overview, that is hepatitis for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So today let's jump straight into
Okay,
our main
so
subject,
our main
hepatitis A.
subject for today is hepatitis A. So as I was saying, the cause of the hepatitis, we have the viruses, and hepatitis A happens to be one of the viruses that causes hepatitis in general. So when we talk about hepatitis A, it is a highly contagious liver infection caused by hepatitis A virus. When we talk about contagious, it means it's spread from one person to another through direct contact. You get it? Mostly through direct contact and indirect contact, but mostly through direct contact. So that is it. And the mode of transmission of hepatitis A is it's spread from contaminated food or water, or when you come in contact with someone who is infected with hepatitis A.
Yes. Doc, the contact to a lay person, are we referring to just holding the person, kissing the person, or
yes, you are
having
just
sexual?
explaining the point.
Okay.
You are explaining the point. You're explaining the point.
I'm trying.
So you coming in contact with the person, having in contact, let me say sexual intercourse is part, because you have the body contact, direct contact.
That's right.
So sexual intercourse is part, hugging an infected person is part. So when you talk about the indirect causes, using items that have been used by the infected person,
Okay.
you get it, and it can also spread through contaminated food or water.
Okay.
So that is the mode of transmission.
It means whenever I listen to you educating us on the mode of transmission of some of these sicknesses and diseases, I feel we are all prone to contact some of these things.
Yes. And you see the history when you get someone with hepatitis A. Today I'm confusing hepatitis A with the vitamin A, because I've been using it very much.
I know. I'll start getting mine.
I've been talking about it for the past, I think, 2 weeks.
Okay.
I'm having a program on vitamin A. So
all right. So we'll also start taking ours.
Okay. So saying the hepatitis A, and if unfortunately the vitamin A comes in, please pardon me. Okay. So when you are treating the hepatitis A, the history should also initiate a search for the source of exposure. So if a patient comes to you and the person has the hepatitis A, you have to initiate a search for the source.
Okay.
What caused the hepatitis A?
Okay.
You get it. So the source of exposure. Practical example: overseas travel. So if the person comes to you, you ask the person, "Have you traveled abroad recently?" So you take the history of the overseas travel. Now you also take the history of lack of immunization. You get it. So I don't know the number of people who have been immunized against this hepatitis A, who have taken their vaccination. So you ask of the history. Have you taken your vaccine? Mostly it's no. Mostly the answer to the question is no. So also you have to ask about this illicit intravenous use. Some people they use this IV fluids at home. I don't know how they get used needles and these IV fluids they've been using at home for their own personal use. You get it? So you have to ask of these things and know. So before you attempt, when you get a case of hepatitis A, you have to get a history. You have so that you should initiate a search and know the source of the exposure. Then you solve it. No, thank you.
So, Doc, what are some of the signs and symptoms of hepatitis A?
Okay, hepatitis A. Yeah, we have. It starts with. Let me put it this way: a mild flu-like symptoms. It's like flu. It's like flu. It's like flu, like common cold stars. Get it? So a practical, one major. Let me say some of the signs and symptoms. We have anorexia.
Okay.
We have
So,
nausea.
Doc,
You
what's
feel
the
nauseous.
anorexia?
So when we talk of hello, hey,
Yes, sir.
the network.
Doc, I can hear you. Doc.
Anorexia.
Yes. The meaning of anorexia.
When we talk about anorexia, we mean it's eating disorder
Okay.
that causes people to let me put it this way. When we talk about anorexia, you have this eating disorder. Like you eat, it's obsessed about weight and what they eat. So let me talk about anorexia is characterized by a distorted body image.
Okay.
So I don't know, the fear of being overweight.
Okay.
Let me put it that way.
Okay.
If you can you can get it. That's it. And we have nausea. Nausea is the feeling of vomiting.
That is a
The
popular
feeling
one.
of vomiting. But you can't vomit. You feel like vomiting, but you are not vomiting. You get it. And we have vomiting on its own. It's also a sign, a symptom of hepatitis A.
That's right.
Now we have easy fatigability. That is you easily become tired. So that is that. Now we have general body weakness also. We have low grade fever. Then general body pains. We have these general body pains. It's also you can also have headaches, severe headaches.
That's right.
Severe headaches. Now we have another state where we have the jaundice state or the jaundice phase.
Okay.
So what you see is you have this dark urine. Dark urine. You have pale stool.
Doc, the dark urine, even when you drink more water, which we know practically when you drink more water, it changes.
It will not change.
Okay. Okay.
It will change.
I like
so we
that.
have the dark urine, we have the pale stool, and jaundice, the yellowish coloration of the skin. We have that one too. Normally, people come with abdominal pain. Then there's these skin rashes that they come with. Those with the hepatitis A.
Okay.
They have these skin rashes they've been coming with.
Wow.
Now, if you have these symptoms, it does not necessarily mean that you are having hepatitis A.
Until you are tested.
Yes, yes. It could be that you have other
allergies.
Diseases.
Okay.
Yes, or other allergies or other diseases. Like we have the alcoholic hepatitis, autoimmune hepatitis, or you will be having maybe hepatitis B, C, D, and the E, or you may be even having acute HIV infection that you don't even know.
Okay.
So you have to test to know whether you have this or not.
So what are the investigations as usual? How do you investigate if you have hepatitis A?
Hepatitis A, we have a gold standard for testing hepatitis A.
Okay.
And that gold standard, we have it's called the NAT, N-A-T. It's an abbreviation. And the meaning is nucleic acid testing.
Nucleic acid testing.
Yes, nucleic acid testing.
Okay.
Yes. So that is the gold standard for testing for hepatitis. Now, aside that, we have you do the liver function test, you do the hepatitis screen, then you can do the liver biopsy, and also you can do abdominal scan to investigate.
Amazing. Doc, can hepatitis A be managed?
Yes, it can be managed.
All right. So how is it managed?
Let me put it this way. I'll put them into groups. Now, first of all, people who are at risk of developing hepatitis A, people who are at risk. When I say people are at risk, if your friend or your colleague, your spouse, your boyfriend or girlfriend has tested positive for hepatitis A, you are at risk of developing hepatitis A. So such people, you have to undergo immunization. Now, if someone tests positive for hepatitis A, the person might not come and tell you, I'm positive. You get it? So what you have to do is you go to the hospital and test, because you don't know whether you are at risk or not.
That's right.
So you go and test. After testing, if you immunize, you just immunize at the hospital. Now, people with acute cases of hepatitis A virus, there's a therapy for them.
Okay.
Now, this therapy is generally, let me say, supportive treatment. We don't have a specific treatment for acute illness, or we don't have a specific treatment for hepatitis A virus infection. So normally we have these supportive treatments. Now, generally you can have this bed rest. The reason why I've been talking about bed rest, you see, when we talked about the acute hepatitis, I spoke of bed rest. Chronic, I said bed rest, is to help prevent transmission of the infection from one person to the another. Practical example: if let's say I am having hepatitis A at the early stages and I've been tested positive and I get to know that I have, and I go around hugging people, I'll transmit.
And we are very careless about this when we even know sometimes not out of ignorance, but people are aware, yet they will still, I mean, like when COVID came, some people know, yes, I've contracted it, but still they want to be amongst people.
So, and you see, when it came, the best remedy we were given was to stay home. Kind people, yes. So that's the bed rest. So if if you observe that protocol, the bed rest, you are going to prevent transmission. Now, patients who are dehydrated and have been admitted at the hospital on account of hepatitis B can be managed with IV fluids. Now, as I was saying, with the immunization, it's on. So vaccination is highly effective at preventing hepatitis A virus disease. So the efficacy of hepatitis A virus ranges from 80% to 100% after 1 or 2 doses. So if you take the vaccine, there's a high chance that you are not going to get hepatitis A virus.
Okay.
Please do get it.
Yes, sir.
So an immunization is indicated for individuals traveling to areas of high cases. So if you've not taken the vaccine and you are moving to areas of high cases, we will urge you to take the vaccine.
Okay.
I will say, if you are traveling, the best thing you have to do is to take the vaccine, because you don't know where you're going, if someone is having it or not. So the best thing is.
So the vaccine is financed by the government, or it has to be personal?
That one, some people pay.
Okay.
Some hospitals they pay, others they don't. So that one.
Okay. I thought about the 6 killer diseases, so I thought maybe way government fund.
I know of the payment. I know of hepatitis B being paid.
Okay.
The hepatitis A, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm not sure, so I can't give you that answer.
That's fine.
Unless I ask and give you the feedback.
That's fine.
All right. It's not expensive, because I took mine at, I think, 20 cedis.
Okay.
For hepatitis B.
Okay.
20 cedis.
So is you advocating that it's a vaccine anyone can go for? You can just walk in and just okay.
Please. Yes, please.
Interesting. Doc, I don't know till today. So thank you for the education.
You're welcome.
Especially those of us who are working in public space. I mean,
of course.
Yes,
of course.
we will do just that. Doc, is there any other thing? But before that, in your estimation and in your practice as a practitioner, what would be the worst scenario or worst state of hepatitis A patient?
The worst state.
Yes.
It can progress to the chronic hepatitis, as I was talking about. It can lead to this hepatic carcinoma, that's the cancer. It can also lead to the liver cirrhosis.
Okay.
And if care is not taken, it can kill someone.
Okay.
So that's the worst stage of it. So the management, let me take us back to the management. We have diet and activity. So let's say patients, we have to encourage patients to have adequate diet. Let me put it, balanced diet. Patients should avoid alcohol and medication that are poisonous to the liver. I was talking about the hepatotoxic drugs.
That's
like paracetamol, like
aspirin,
as good, like herbal preparation to the other time. So you have to avoid alcohol. So if you have this hepatitis, these things you have to stay away from them for your own good. You have to stay away from them for your own good.
That's right.
And the management, the last but not the least, we have prevention. So we have to control. So control at the source. So how do we control at the source? We have to treat contacts to prevent further cases of disease. So if we get someone who has hepatitis A, the best thing we can do is to isolate.
Okay.
Treat the person. And we have to treat contacts. So as we're for COVID, we're doing this contact
tracing.
Yes. So we have to treat contacts of the infected things. If I go to the clinic, I have hepatitis A, you don't just treat me for me to go. No, you have to do this contact. Yes, education there was from you have to do contact tracing. It's not only COVID that we should do contact tracing. Hepatitis A too, we have to do contact tracing. We have to go to our homes, our workplaces, where the patients work. We have to go to places where he lives and the rest, and have this contact tracing.
That's amazing.
We get the number of people, we will test them, and then we will treat them. So this is the primary goal to prevent this hepatitis A virus disease
from spreading.
So that's it. Yes, that's the primary.
Wow.
So you have to educate. Education is key. That's right. What we are lacking. So education about transmission and prevention of transmission. So there are two things. So the education, we should educate the public about the mode of transmission of hepatitis A. That's one. And also there should be education on the prevention of transmission, such as hand washing, safe food services. You get it?
That's right.
So it can also help. And we have the pharmacological management. That is when you come and we give you drugs. So some of the drugs, we have the metoclopramide, hepatitis A vaccine, and some pain medication. So, these are the various ways we can manage hepatitis A virus infection. Thank you.
Doc, your final words.
I would say, the question you asked me, the first question you asked about the healthcare system.
That's right.
There is more room for improvement.
That's right.
There is more room for improvement. As I was saying, you have to try as much as possible and add some staff to the existing ones.
That's right.
Because I don't know, the work is some way. We have to help save lives. You get it? We have to help save lives. So the number of qualified physician assistants at home, they should try as much as possible and employ them into the government sector to help solve this issue. The number of qualified nurses at home, nursing assistants, lab technicians, and all the help. Let me put the health program. Like they should help,
including the paramedics.
Yes, everyone. They should help put them on call, because if we don't do that, there is pressure on those things.
So one doctor to about 50 patients.
Of course, and they are going to make mistakes. That's why a lot of people are dying.
Now doctors are making mistakes in their prescriptions, and people are dying out of wrong prescriptions.
They have to help. They have to help. They have to help.
All right, Doc. Doc, thank you so much. So, Heal the World Home Care Service. Call Doctor on 055 404 1686, 055 404 1686, or 020 264 3942. It's affordable. Call Doctor and plan for your home service. Doc, good morning.
Good morning.
We are grateful. All right, so that was Dr. Mpɔtam Leslie of Standards Clinic in AKUFO-ADDO, giving an in-depth education on hepatitis A. I never knew that we ought to go for the vaccine. It's something we have to just walk in and take the vaccine, like yellow fever and the like. So I'm happy and I'm so much educated today, honestly. All right, or mind be ye feminu me nwara enchekra ye ni one of the anti-corruption campaigners ebetwetwe komo ewo efidie ya so. I pray say ye betumi enya no ne na twetwe komo. Charles Bissue. I want to just give a background story about this whole buha about the OSP versus Charles Bissue. The OSP in December last year announced that it was investigating indigenous mining firm Akonta Mining Limited, Mr. Bissue. Some officials of the Lands Commission, Forestry Commission, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, some mining entities, individuals and political party officials over suspected corruption relating to illegal mining. A statement signed by the Special Prosecutor Kisi Ejabin and issued in Accra on December 3rd last year said Mr. Bissue was already being investigated on allegations that he used his office for private gain. The investigation includes the active and ongoing inquiry into allegations of use of public office for profit against Charles Bissue during his tenure as secretary to the IMCIM, that is the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, arising from an investigative documentary titled Galamsey Fraud Part 1, published by Tiger IPI, the statement said. But Mr. Bissue has refuted all allegations made in the documentary against him. As I've said countless times, the money was not a bribe, and I did not make any demands whatsoever from any operative or beneficiary of illegal mining while I served on the IMCIM, that is the Interministerial Committee on Illegal Mining, he said in a recent statement. Subsequently, in July 2019, the Criminal Investigations Department, CID of the Ghana Police Service, exonerated Mr. Bissue from any wrongdoing or allegation of corruption. The CID concluded that the documentary, which was aired, was not a true reflection of what transpired between Mr. Bissue and Wan Yao Ben of ORR Resource Enterprise. The CID investigations primarily relied on the documentary and other sources as already indicated, but the lead investigator of the Tiger Eye documentary, Mr. Anas Aremeyao Anas, failed to avail himself to assist in investigations and also failed to provide a copy of the unedited version of the documentary, the CID report said. So, I want us to go through the back and forth between the OSP and then Charles Bissue. But on the line is an anti-corruption campaigner, and he's here to speak to the issue. Mr. Samuel Harrison Kujo is already on the line. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome to Papalo Radio on Mpɔtam Morning Show.
Thank you very much, sir.
How you doing, sir?
I'm fine. I hope you are also fine.
The Lord is faithful. The Lord has really been faithful. How's the family?
Everybody is fine. Everybody is fine.
We thank
we are
God.
managing in this Ghana.
I'm telling you. Every Ghanaian is a good manager, so let's keep managing. And I like the fact that you are pushing an agenda for the next generation, if not this generation, the next generation.
Yeah,
There's this publication in the papers or dailies. Special prosecutor secures court order to arrest Charles Bissue. Before I go on with the main story, the current one, I want us to look at the background. Check about this whole saga. The OSP in December last year announced that it was investigating indigenous mining firm Akonta Mining Limited. Mr. Bissue, some officials of the Lands Commission, Forestry Commission, the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources, some mining entities, individuals and political party officials over suspected corruption relating to illegal mining. So the CID concluded and exonerated Mr. Bissue about all corruption related matters, and Mr. Bissue is of the view that he never forced anyone to give him money. They gave him the money on their own will or free will. Your take on this one before we go into the back and forth so far.
Okay, so good morning once again to your listeners.
Good morning, sir.
You have just 1 minute remaining.
All right, so we lost our guest, so we'll go back to the phone line and deal with the issues. So we're going for a short break. We'll put Mr. Samuel Harrison back. He's an anti-corruption campaigner. Stick and stay right here, Mpɔtam Morning Show. All right, on my be we lost Mr. Samuel Harrison Kujo. He's an anti-corruption crusader. Honorable, sorry, we lost you.
Yes, the line dropped. I'm sorry about that. So, what Mr. Bissue first said about people giving him the money out of their own volition and not demanding anything from them. The question becomes, why were the people giving him the money out of their own volition? You see,
that's a good question.
You would say that, oh, I didn't demand a bribe from them. They gave me the money. Yes, they gave me the money to do what? Who meets anybody in an office and then just gives the person money because I am just passing through your office and I want to dash you money?
That's a good question.
And for someone who occupies or who occupied a position as sensitive as that, you know, so I mean, that reason he gave, from my side, looking at the anti-corruption angle, I think that reason was not good enough. CID said they did the work and they exonerated him. Unfortunately, I haven't seen the CID report to know.
Go through.
I mean, exactly on which grounds
They are of the view that let me help you here. They are of the view that Anas did not make himself available to testify in court and to also come along with the unedited documentary of what he did.
Please, please. They wanted to see the unedited videos.
That's right.
When did anybody suddenly realize that you needed to see unedited videos
Before one can be set charge
on these matters? You see, I think that we are struggling with the fight against corruption in Ghana because the laws that we have put in place to help us fight against corruption, we are either not applying the laws or we are misapplying the laws. For example, Anas, by his modus operandi, cannot show his face.
That's right.
Then he goes to court and the court says that you take off your mask and come and testify, otherwise we'll set the person free. I mean, if I were Anas, then you set the person free, because if I show my face, especially knowing what was done to
I'll be in danger.
If I show my face, I'll be in danger. So, but again, back to the special prosecutor. The special prosecutor told us in October last year that he was doing an investigation into corruption complaints based on the Anas video.
That's right.
And initially, Professor Frimpong Boateng was invited, and later he said he was arrested. And going on to the OSP's website, I didn't find anything about an arrest there. But Professor Frimpong Boateng says that he was arrested and granted bail
on a 2 million Ghana cedi bail.
Ghana cedi bail. And now we are hearing that the OSP has secured a warrant for the arrest of Charles Bissue. I think that the OSP, one, should be speeding up their work. I'm not saying that they should compromise the process for the sake of speed, but I am sure in the Anas video, it was not only Professor Frimpong Boateng and Charles Bissue, there were other
forestry officials, lands and natural resources and all.
I am thinking that the OSP should be rounding up all these people, getting them,
as soon as possible,
questioning them, getting the evidence, and going after any other group of persons who are involved. So if the OSP has secured a warrant for the arrest of Mr. Bissue, well, that's fine, but I think that they need to do more and quickly, because October last year, November, December, we are almost into June of this year. We are in June of this year. We are half a year gone. So we should see a lot more. You see, when you are fighting corruption, the perception also matters.
Very true.
Right? You can't claim to be fighting corruption when the citizenry have questions that are unanswered. So we need to get the OSP to also...
And on Ghana's table, there's a lot of corruption, unanswered issues that are still pending. A lot of them.
A lot of them. And I must say that the OSP is actually swarmed with a lot of work, because the corruption case that the OSP is following up on recently,
it's uncountable.
They gave us information on the Northern Development Agency, Northern Development Authority case that they are working on. Some people had inflated the contract by almost 10 million Ghana cedis, and
can you imagine?
You see, so they are swarmed with a lot of work. That is true, but we need to see regular updates. I know their law says that every half year, that's every 6 months, they should give us an update on the cases they are working on. But for some cases that have a lot of public interest, we would want to see, if not even a full brief, something small on how the case is traveling, maybe every quarter or so that we can also keep track and then get the public support for the OSP. I think the OSP is doing well. We need to support them, but they also need to give us something we can hold on to build that support for them.
There's other public outcry that he's being selective when it comes to some cases. Do you agree with that?
Oh, I disagree with that outcry about being selective. You see, corruption as it is, if you want to fight corruption, properly, we have to fight corruption from the top.
That's right.
The way people are going about it, if the OSP decides that they are going after the people at the bottom, they may end up overstretching themselves and not making any.
They will only catch the ghost.
Or any mark, right? But when the people at the top are dealt with as an example, you see that everybody else will fall in line. So when people say the OSP is being selective, frankly, I disagree. I think that we should allow the OSP to do their work. Yes, we should have an interest in the work they are doing, but when we want to tar them with a certain brush that they are this, they are selective, they are that, we end up undermining the institution. And
That's
for
right.
us in the anti-corruption space, the OSP should not be undermined. We really need to support him to do the work that he has set upon himself.
I agree with you on the fact that when you arrest the top men, it's a clear-cut indication that you are really up to the task and you are ready to do justice to whoever crosses your camera. I agree with that. I remember a police officer arrested a very prominent person, and the person introduced himself as a reverend minister. He said, yes, you are the very people we want to arrest. He said, why? He said, when I tell my boss I arrested a reverend minister, I will be promoted. If I go for the ordinary ones, it will take time for me to be promoted. So that is to buttress your point. But this is the latest twist. The Bissue lawyer, or Mr. Bissue's lawyer, had also gone to the High Court seeking an injunction to stop the OSP from investigating him again. Your take on this one?
For me, I find it a little funny, you see, because even when the state, even when the Attorney General files a nolle prosequi on a particular case, they can reinvestigate, rearrest, and then put you before court again. So if you say CID has,
or even in the court, you can be acquitted, not discharged.
Even in the court, let's even say you can be acquitted and discharged, but once you step out of the court, you'll be rearrested.
That's right.
And fresh charges preferred against you. I mean, I think that the lawyer is doing his job as a lawyer, but even he knows that saying that, oh, the CID investigated my man and set him free is not. I mean,
okay.
I mean, there can be cases where multiple agencies would be For example, if a case is something to do with financial crime or economic crime, right? GRA can pick the tax aspect of it and be investigating you for maybe tax fraud or something. Financial Intelligence Center can pick up a case and say, we are investigating, maybe the person has been involved in a particular scam. Yoko can pick up the same case, but pick a different angle of it and say that maybe there was some money laundering involved. And we are investigating. So one case, one person, but three different agencies are investigating the person. You can't go to court and say that because GRA acquitted my man on tax, so FIC or Yoko cannot investigate him for money laundering. I mean, I think the lawyer is doing his job, but even he knows that that position is not tenable. So, unless maybe the court in their own judgment gives us a ruling that says that once a person has been investigated by one entity, then the person cannot be investigated by another. But until the court makes such a determination, I think the lawyer is just doing his job, but he knows that.
So from where you sit or stand, and with the spectacle, the anti-corruption spectacle you are wearing now, how do you foresee the end of this whole court process?
Okay, so I think that the whole process with the OSP investigating and everything, we should prepare ourselves for a very long process. That's one of the things that we should prepare ourselves for.
That's right.
It's not going to be like 100-meter dash. Because
you're going to travel very far.
It will travel far because people who are involved would bring in all manner of court cases.
That's right.
They will do all manner of things you know,
You really know their antics and strategies.
You know, so we should be prepared. It's going to travel for a long haul. The, the second thing we should be looking out for is, for me, getting the OSP to be giving us regular updates. He may not give us the kind of evidence that he has, because he has to take it to court. But we want to see regular updates on these matters, so that we can also keep an eye on the issue. We have to bring Galamsey to an end. The issue is far-reaching, and you think that you are in Accra. What is your business with Galamsey? But the water that you drink comes from a particular
70% of our water bodies has been destroyed by illegal mining.
And we will get to a point where they are saying that at the point we import water. And I'm asking myself, if we should import water, how are we going to pay for the water that we import? Already, even when water comes to our homes, PURC has increased tariffs, and we are complaining. So what would we do when we have to buy imported water?
That's right.
So we need to deal with Galamsey, and this IMCIM issue is what would help us to put this issue to a close. We need to support the state agencies doing good work. If the state agencies do some work that is questionable, we'll question it. But for as far as they are working in the interest of this country, I think that we need to support them to do the good work.
I know you're a very busy person, but I would like you to, on the same corruption-related issue, Saglime, former Housing Ministry Chief Director, wheeled to court to face 43 criminal charges. I'm sure you've come across this story.
The whole Saglime issue, why are we doing this to ourselves?
Tell you, that's a good question for our leaders and people involved to answer.
You see, we go for a loan to build so-called affordable housing. Who is living in Saglime now?
Nobody. And the criminals are buying it for themselves. And
we always claim that, there is housing deficit, and now the person is going to court. To be, the usual court processes, face all that he has to face, right? But for me, yes, let's deal with whatever criminal angle there is, but let us also look at the judicious use of resources in this country. I think that we are failing ourselves, we are failing our generations, because we are not making good use of this country's resources. We go to IMF for $3 billion, and then Al Jazeera does an investigative piece where someone is saying that he's taking out $34 billion of
the gold scam
every month.
And you are going to IMF for $3 billion US dollars.
Billion.
Receiving first tranche at $600 million US dollars, and you are happy.
600 million. We want to do a party that we have received money in record time. I think that, yes, let's deal with whatever criminal angle there is, and of course the court will make a determination on the matter. But it's about time we citizens, you see, that's the whole issue about accountability, holding our leaders to account. I tell people that let's drop this our partisan NDC MPP stance, and let's begin to look at the development of this country.
That's right. Honestly, the Ghanaians are few. The MPP and NDC are more.
No, you see, MPP and NDC, we've done that in this Fourth Republic for almost 30 years. What proper result has it brought us?
I think the ideology must be broken.
We see Accra Cape Coast Road still single lane, accidents happening, people dying. You see, and I tell people that some of the prayer topics we go to church and we pray about, if we were in the Western world, we wouldn't pray about them.
That's nonsense.
Because we just worry God.
It does not make sense.
With prayer topics that, our common sense could have solved this issue. So at a point, let's drop our partisan lens and let's hold our leaders to account. There is money in Ghana. if we really want to develop our country, there is money in this country, but we have to plug certain holes that the money passes through to other people's pockets. Let the courts deal with the criminal angle. I mean, I would agree if the Saglemi angle, there is a criminal case and the court is looking at it. I agree with that. But I feel that as citizens also, we have to rise up and hold our leaders to account on the use of this country's resources. Yeah.
Finally, what would be your suggestions in fighting corruption? I can see you a good advocate for the OSP. What are some of the institutions you think or tools that we need to solve these corruption related issues?
Okay, so in no particular order, I would say that the first, one of the things we have to do is to look at resourcing our institutions to work. Shraj, Yoko, Financial Intelligence Center, Office of Special Prosecutor. Some of these agencies, we have to resource them work. If we don't resource these agencies, they will. And you see, crime is evolving every time.
That's right.
If we don't resource these agencies, they will not be able to stay ahead of the criminals. Then we'll end up losing. So we have to resource the institutions. And by resourcing them includes guaranteeing their independence. So don't come and remove a certain boss of a certain entity and put your own person
I was coming there.
And
to pursue your own parochial interest.
Yes, we don't need to do that. I think that this Fourth Republic has given us enough examples of people who have been put into institutions and they are clearly not being independent. They are being subservient to whoever puts them in power. I think that we need to do away with that. So let's resource them. Let's guarantee their independence. Let's make sure our laws are impersonal. Impersonal as in whoever falls foul of the law, let the law deal with them.
That's right.
You know, it doesn't have to be he's my party member, he's my uncle's son, he's my brother's sister's aunties. No. I mean, when you go abroad, when you jump a red light, the ticket is given to you regardless of whether you are a prime minister or you are a common floor member. So let's have impersonal laws and let's make sure our laws work. That's one of the key things worrying this country. We have the laws, but our laws are not working.
I agree with you on that score.
The laws work only in court, but not out of court, you know. So we have to let our laws work. I think that we are fighting against corruption. We are getting very slow results because we are moving too slowly, but we would get there. We would get it. It's just, I feel it is deliberate that we are making very slow progress. But one day we'll get there.
I like your confidence level.
And I pray that one comes within the next year. Because if we put our laws to work, everything will fall in place for us as Ghana.
I like your confidence level, and I agree with you on the fact that Ghana don't need new laws. We have existing laws already. Let's enforce them, resource those anti-corruption institutions to fight corruption. But I won't allow you to go without touching on Domilevo. He's been phenomenal in his time at the Auditor General's Department. Recently, the Supreme Court had ruled that it was unconstitutional when he received a sacking from the current government. Your take on this one?
The Supreme Court judgment is good, but it came too late.
Justice delayed, justice denied.
Unless we take consolation in the ruling that future presidents would, because this ruling has also set a precedent. So you can't remove, somebody on such flimsy ground like that.
That's right.
But I feel that the judgment came too late. But Mr. Domelevo has also given us an example of you know, let me go a little into the Bible where I think it was Elijah who was running away and he told God that he is the only prophet left, and God told him that.
So you are joking. There are more.
There is a remnant.
You are just privileged.
You are the face, but there are other people.
That's right.
I think Mr. Domelevo is an example of the remnant.
That's
there
right.
Are people like him. They are Ghanaians who are fair-minded, who, when put into office, would work to ensure the development of this country. I mean, Mr. Domelevo simply turned the whole Auditor General's office on its head, and suddenly people were mindful of how they spent state money. For the first time, you could see that people are scared to undertake certain things.
There were shivers running through their spine. I mean,
Domelevo comes into this, that is the end of the case. And it also gave Ghanaians some kind of hope that there is someone who can do good work for this country. I think that wherever Mr. Domelevo is, he should take consolation in the fact that he has done good work for Ghana. His name would forever be in our history books. I mean, we will talk about Kwame Nkrumah, and we may possibly talk about Jerry Rawlings and J. AKUFO, but we would never forget the name of Daniel Domelevo.
That's right.
We won't forget this man. He has really done. He has, in that short space that he occupied the office, he did his due for Ghana, and we are grateful that he occupied the office at that time. Yeah.
Your final words, sir.
Finally, I would want to tell all Ghanaians that it is Ghana at the end of the day. We can be NDC and NPP only when there is a Ghana that exists. Without Ghana, you can't go to Nigeria and go and be MPP or NDC in Nigeria. The Nigerians won't allow you to do that. So let us see to the development of this country. We say we are the gateway to West Africa. Let us prove that we are the gateway.
That's right.
Let's come together and ensure that this country develops. When a good hospital is set up, it is set up for all of us. We don't need to get money to travel to India or to go to United States. When a good road is done, whether I am riding in the trotro or I am riding in my own car, I know that I will get to my destination safely because the road is car worthy. Let's come together and fight for the development of this country. When this country develops, we can go back to our partisanship. But for now, let's focus on the development of Ghana.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Well
sir.
delivered. Talk to you once again in the future. Thank you, sir. All right, so that was Mr. Samuel Harrison Kujo, his anti-corruption crusader, speaking to the issues of corruption, Charles Bissue versus the office of the special prosecutor. I'll go for a quick break, and when I'm back, we'll have a reporter on the line to speak to the issue. Stick and stay right here, Mpɔtam Morning Show.
Asampayetia Obayansa fusu wo bunibia wonka na asam Tema futu sam kakre wa supeme Yo kofi oman ya woman Omani ya mamana Genyi baby ako Wachaza ya wareni Wonsom wanyinyi pa Nasadi pa wofyoye Yamo yembera ye ebe ya ifirena Omaya umano Omaya mamana Hadi waye nora Nyamichata Nyamana renya Wanso wanyinyipa Sawaya wanabe Yamo yembera ye ebe ya ifirena Wanso wanyinyipa Nazazepa ofyoyo Kamo yembera ye Can you breathe the wafa? Empower ways now winya. Yamin Shira, Mamani Paya the Foa, and Yanum. Yafanya Misroya, Jumana, Yami Besrayan, O'Brien, where am I am right? Abeya, Fianara, Amabaya, Fianara, Janoma, Asita.
Or might be ye feminu me and Nuara 37 minutes on top of the hour 9 a.m. GMT in the studios of Papalo Radio. We stream it live on www.mountainghana.com, online radiobox.com. I have on the line Honorable Kofi Amponson of the MPP. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, Doctor.
Bachoboko.
Adomnia.
And I day Adomnia. Honorable MPP, Eko Abatuomu, Mone Jachi Kwesen, Eko ye another contest. Eka Jachi Kwesen, NDC, MP, Supreme Court, Ejirani to me so, Ama Parliament, I take a decision, saying to that yes so. Near Nkotwaba, any parliamentary candidate, Fufrana MP. And from a member of parliament, I should say, member of parliament for Asen North. MPP, 2-3 days ago, Makotoa Bamoyi Charles Opoku, Aokojina Manemu, any Jachikwesi or YNDC, Eddie Akobweni. Honorable, then I walk far away.
Doctor, Medawaso, Akonya, the Amami, and Nanopoy. Nachia, what here for no production team, and a Green Ghana Day. Enti president
biane de menkofo bi wo so mu nnua
sa
ai
now de maybe me come asem so na president e be chance e
honorable yetia na me fi so be bisa me say
me pesa me de de na e be dua ni hia sen wo mo so mu nnua so e na ye hu so mu ye NDC for de na ye pe Ghana ye no ye na ye pe Ghana ye no ye wi a na fe ya ba bedi wa for ne so enti ye de hia sa ye de fata
yati
enti president shasi free ye constituency ayawaso west wogo enti ye no na shasi oha enti yesre Ghana ni ba bia o ye Ghana ni ba mapa na Ghana edana kuma so Ghana that dana kuma so se omofo mo dwumadi enim enti machia MP honorable Lydia Sarah Marasan and the MCO of the municipal Sandra Uswa Henkura and mpanyfo ekeka ho a omudi president enim ne ne disa dwuma ye chi omunyina na yakase nyame ento supansu guso na ma botayenti e de asi ani so no emrem na da chinchirima ba o mo se yeso aye ba ni ani wo mabro afi wo mo abrofo no mo so wo de wo nua no mo kura ye dua kura na nadwo no mo twitwagu NDC for ento mo so wo nua enye nwanwa
o mo twitwagu
ye dua kura na nadwo no mo sa no no asuohyegu ase
o mu twaguro ba sa no anso hie gu ase
do want to me to ase no anso hie gu ase
ase we de bayi pa o
no mo de ade papa be no mo pe no man ade papa bi ani ho mo pe no man
honorable ti yen kwase not makoyi chasopoku ni me kakra then I'll be to makafa ne ho
okay nyame anim ni sa abrante no de me shada enim no
okay
na emomo no yeah say ye call by elections no say empayfo ye call asen no for ye investigation na say kuruma no nipa ben na oye potential ye de ne ba o mai mu ni nyina beji bumadi na chi then your research try say yes your research try say this Charles Opoku no onu yo obi a o ma so be ye MP kra no just say philanthropist work near the idea or yet the what my for no honor. Na enya nwanwa say ye de ne ba timamofo ne beje na tum because already no kra onye na dwe so be DMP na so onye MP no kra no dwumadi a wodi mo ho na so mpopa enti say ye de ne ba e che say ne manfo na eje na tum a enye bibia be ye den ama mo kra so obi anso a wokwa kan sie bia anso no so wo hwe say nipa obetume de na din kunim at the end of the day the person here no say e besan just sit in the back because a traditional seat na you know sometimes ya na near my ye bi ne ye bi mo na ya na ma sometimes na NDC for abawuram because over 2020 elections are so over also president winning was our constituency na so sha omo candidate ni kura nya more vote as president enti ya nkasa ye ne ye bi ene kwan e fa so impose nkrofo on our peoples nema abufuo ni sa na emanem na ba this time round no behra druwa na nko ye former no so no kra ya mananko bi until this time ya tena se hu se hwan na temamufo ne pe na de asen no fofo ne kire se o mo pe no o mo so na tu ayi ne so ya info akoyi ne de naba o mo si druwa no ofi krokitu ebi na we no ofi breku ankasa all those dynamics de ne nyina taking place taking involved ne hu se who cut across those villages and the township brekus what and its surroundings no ni nyina ye hwe ne net say chaso poko no stand to ono na mpanfo hu say de ne ba omo nyina even the NDC members creating who dance here editwam no dey we are assured say ye beje amanabro sokora jachi question na NDC esande naba is it because only need the men nana one honorable yeah mepacho honorable Kofi Amponsa was na honorable Ashama so was na yepesi ajimu mienu madwen kire nti mpacho we ka na we so aka bi honorable Kofi Amponsa na was honorable mpacho to aso okay honorable Ashama good morning okay before na metia menu so our friend wa homa so that's right na doctor last menu din ko mobi katra o say adumra o say Ghana for ye de politics ponchen na ye tena se ne adwene ne ma bi ho say ye peye man ni ye pa ye pe kwan bi na political party e friend na NDC no ye eliminate wo mon free politics mokra entirely. Why do you think so? Because they don't have ideology. Buga. They came with a revolution. And to omuni plan biya de determine. Mukra no tama Rollins and Nekura buy now free a yimu buy now omukra so mbe practice democracy no. The omoye ne say omodo omonkro fo Cuba. Cuba na the omuko suya ne say propagandist. Ade ye black and the introsa na nipa ehunu na ni so say white. So that is omu belief. It is our politics no more yen Ghana hano. Omu manifesto nyina ye. Oh, yet say Ghana fu so say gas a short no more sim. And no omu manifesto. Oh, Ghana fu say fuel boyden. No more sim. Oh, transport and if was say spare parts boyden to omu demonstration. No more ko jina omu manifesto no they play with the intelligence of Ghanaians. Not any policy. Iti na medical kasa Ghana for ntena se pa ubia otoaba fatun chan irrespective of your political party na dwene wo na bisa frɛ san krofo na e frɛ mo NDC pa no ne papa ben pa na wo mumu ma o man enu nto mo kɔtena opposition o mo kan sɛm akɛse ne edi ntro ne kan sɛm de ato wadwenem sɛ kɔto aba ma no na wo de aba ne ma ne wia ɔkɔtena konwa ne so a ahemfo ombedi wo matem asofo ombedi wo matem doctors ombedi wo matem tiso obi amie ara na mo refi omo ni e bro journalist and so omo basisia omo no mba behuri just a journalist we anka asem mo bia mowa ye tata media freedom na munyina mudi wo machi honorable fawanu si na menyi hwe nkrofo bi kɔtena radio say omo report chief justice e from muntie 3 one will say, you do a mukotu mono. Ukujata Braquamo Sole control petition. Emma, former President Mahama so the Sakosha Momu microphone. Okay. Recently, Jatuko or far chrono quine so the buy. Supreme Court to say any day. Yem Pipani Dean cry, my muscle crass.
Honorable offer chrono quine so saying.
Chrono quine so nothing would pro overswear to say. Who do allegiance to any other country be at Ghana home. Na Sebi Uchan Kagua, and now what's it done? And I would share him Fika now we are this year. That's what I say, ma apply into no automatically no, may who do allegiance to any other. Na Sebioka Fratch or Sebioka Fratch.
Honorable Yerefu Anusi,
Obrenaso. It's me brand so now me this no. I'm a miniana become the other propaganda or my cancer and Pabia. What is the business say? Into no boss are chrono in every no. Or no corner, na Mosada, but as a Mugana say, Lebicura Ukurim.
Honorable Jinasona Memfa and Tijinasona Memfa. Honorable Daniel Ashama. Honorable, good morning. Nyamiadum. Today you speak here.
Oh,
Aha, okay. So so you can miss it with the English and the Chi.
Not all Nigeria for cry or General Secretary.
Honorable, but what out the to the general. Honorable Shama, I salute. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
We thank God. So we're discussing the Asset North election. Jachikwe said has been nominated or selected or voted for by the NDC, and so he is going to be your candidate. And then the MPP has also elected Charles Opoku. How do you see the chances of the NDC?
Thank you so much, and I need that it's first.
Kofi Amponsa.
Honorable Kofi Amponsa. Honorable Amponsa in Pacho, my chair.
Major so many of them. Major so honorable. I hope so. The own yes, Union.
Honorable Pacho.
Me can for me. Than propaganda.
Honorable Mr. Yedi.
Now, or yell. Me throw out at your say, you know, a gun for. Casa, and now two are ever in a say. Ghana be tumpo.
That's right.
And you know, a politician. And yes, sir, if you view ideology, you'll be near ideology. Be near ideology plan to me, seek a market. I said, any power ideology,
any Ukuro Assembly man cry a manisco besibi. And no ideology.
Honorable. Wait a 1 and 1 2, Mr.
Ideology, no, and sit down. Ideology, and see hospital. Ideology, and company. Send come on, Mujit say, Nikita ideology, no. In Kanye, no, Naiti Handea. If you are any more a tree, I see no for Hunter. In come with you, my seen sonning in a. In can self attached, Moko Dapra, Abanubenya. What we should be expecting as Ghanaians. It is Obi only say ideologists. Ideas in Agunibutu, ye Difikamanoa, ye Hu Juma, in Kesese Ukianinia fertilizer. I'm a one Fasikano and Koto fertilizer, Mukiani. Unindam Kroma, Mikita ideology. Ideology, Ediani. A year quite, a year school, a be. Minia, Nancy was enough. I can't want them. The Pamucho, Jati question, or your NDC, but or your as enough in this pest, and some your NDC.
That's right.
As enough for Omu or Domano, Omune to Abamano. I almost say, oh. nipa ejinama NDC oye Jachikwesi no oye yadishie oye yen asino for yadishie ansa na wabeye NDC ni inti ye tu abama no weye nye NDC wa ideology na ni ideology asemu kai se mimi nye twini ba misra ka se mutwifo ankasa na ka se so obi fun kuma obi fun dwa so obi fun kuma yemfum ndwa inti se Supreme Court say yenyi asin of every parliament ni bibi dia asin of force omudi hye no no omudi omuntumi mfasika mfa ndwa omudi hye omuntumi mfasika mfa ndwa omudi hye say MPP for pay no do you get it right now over here MPP ni dia ena Jachikwesi obeko prison ena Jachikwesi ediebe beifo adwinu no senka ho mia ebe ko jema wo mpai ma no se onyankopon eyi no frim ba MPP fo adwinu se wo be ko prison ye pesa ko ba election obi o mu kita ideology o hia ni padodo e di siesie oman no ti oman no kata akoy ti sa beifo kata nko a e ti sa beifo de o ade no say why should it be so? Inti ye bisi fonu ye wo nipa ho pepa ye wo nipa ho do
honorable
ye wo nipa ho abadaye inti no sadi bi se ya ye bompa ye de ye bompa ya mageti question se onyankopon free muso any expanding nyina mo that is NDC for you ye ni ideology kra ye nim se udi sika kanipa moja so we know so we must go by that. It is not about ideology. Na mini ampon sa okasano. Osi, NDC there say yes, eye wo senka NDC eni ho. Ba wono mo pese NDC wo ho. No mo nya nsupa no. Wono mo pese NDC wo ho. No mo nya jinama hondi. Wono mo pese NDC wo ho. No mo nya hospital. Wono mo pese NDC wo ho. No mo nya university.
Honorable Amposa Bema obre no rebate wo rebate dia sana.
Omususu ye Ghana for. Nínú Amposa kasa no. Bisa no say bi kasa. Me anati na me kasa. Kinu ye ka. But in fact nkobo busia wa brutri. Busia dodo to amubo dollars mu kinu na mu di koye. You should give us emphatically the kilowatts of energy omudia adi. These are the very people omudi di Mahama tem say or the excess capacity aba. No musa ko jina bedia omusi enye ndisi na aso butum so. Can you see their line of thinking? Can you see their spaghetti line of thinking? Afra kata. Who did you hear them say?
Ma honorable Nanusi na wabam why?
Open papalo. Me nyatwini. But since some America according to say attempt my chance sign. Because that is not my intention to insult anybody.
So you can flow the English, no problem. Honorable understands, so no problem.
It is not my intention to insult anybody.
That's
because
right.
We are in crisis today. The economic hardship, the NDC that the NPP don't want to exist. How much were we buying a gallon of petrol under NDC? How much are we buying it today? The party that you don't pray to exist at all, it should be MPP, one party state. How much are we buying a liter of petrol today? And how are